field. Mariner fans, they've showed up on this last couple of days, almost 36,000 yesterday. Expected to be in the 30s again here today. D. Gordon has been a spark plug for this Mariner ball club, and Scott Service says we're a different ball club when he gets on base.
I don't think that there's any question about it, and if you like speed, there's plenty of it right here. An unusual looking double, actually barely gets to the outfield grass, but D. Gordon, who's going to drive in a couple of runs, never stops running and ends up with a double off the pitcher's glove. You can see the second baseman changing directions, the ball rolling slowly, and D never stops. Just tremendous speed. What a lift he has given the lineup this year.
Gene Segura coming off a big night. How about out of the gate, home run triple?
And for Segura, his third home run on the year to get the Mariners on the scoreboard. That was early in the ball game in the first. And then this triple has Martin in center field. So in the first 2 innings, a home run and a triple. We thought maybe cycle, but that wasn't the case for Gene, but he has been a hot hitter for the Mariners.
One of the top hitters in the American League, 7th in the junior circuit. So we look at some little leaguers and their dads and family parading through. It's got to be a thrill. Walks a Major League Baseball field. We got the Mariners, we got the Tigers. It's coming up next.
Struck him out. Back out to left field. There it goes. There goes deep. He slides in. He's safe.
Seattle Mariners looking to finish out this homestand on an uptick at 4-2 if they can beat the Detroit Tigers today. So we welcome you to Mariner Baseball. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, Root Sports Crew. And here he is, the pride of Louisiana by way of the University of Alabama, Wade LeBlanc, in his second tour of duty with the Mariners. And he has really been a terrific addition to this ball club. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Detroit Tigers.
Leonys Martin is going to lead off. He's the DH today, has been in center field, but DHing and leading off. Then it's John Hicks, the former Mariner, has moved up into the cleanup spot, has really done well for the Tigers this year. Hitting ninth will be Pete Kozma, rounding out the ninth for the Tigers. And for Wade LeBlanc, has really pitched well for the Mariners. This will be his fourth start, a 2.5 ERA and 28 2/3, just the 4 walks, 22 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .243 against LeBlanc. A little bit different looking defense today. Andrew Romine getting the start in left field. Gordon Beckham, we're used to seeing him at second base, but he's going to play third base today. Kyle Seager, the DH, and David Freitas will do the catching. So Mike Zunino out of the lineup today. For for Wade LeBlanc in his last outing against Minnesota. Really pitched well. He went 6 innings, 3 hits, did not give up an earned run. Didn't walk anybody, a big key for him. Through 90 pitches, 58 strikes in that outing.
Well, with Wade LeBlanc on the mound for this start, let's get a little Roll Tide. It's from the University of Alabama by way of Lake Charles, Louisiana. And first pitch as we get this party started here to Martin is in there for a strike. Martin 0 for 4 in yesterday's game. This one popped up and it's out plug. 62 degrees, cloudy skies, wind out of the east northeast at 2.
Jacoby Jones waiting on deck for LeBlanc. Fastball, cutter, changeup, an occasional curveball. His average fastball this year 86 miles an hour.
Home plate umpire today, Tacoma's own Mike Malinsky, University of Washington alum. Tim Timmons at first, Rob Drake at second, crew chief Mike Winters is at third. 0-2. Distance playable. Segura taking charge. There's one away. Gene swinging a heck of a bat. .316 batting average. He's all over the batting leader chart. He's third in hits, 59. Among the league leaders in runs scored. Here's Jacoby Jones, the center fielder. 235, 3 homers, 10 runs batted in. Interesting how LeBlanc got here. He's with the Yankees during spring training, and they have such depth of talent. They we're going to send him to Scranton Wilkes-Barre, the AAA, and Wade said, no, you got a million prospects there. I got no chance there. Cut me loose. And Jerry DePoto was all over it. Here comes Heredia. And Segura lets everybody know who's taking charge. 2 down. It worked out well for the Mariners to get Wade for the second time. He was with the Mariners back in 2016 for 11 games, 8 starts. Pitched a 3-0 record, a 4.50 ERA. Two down, Nicholas Castellanos, the right fielder. And again, no Miguel Cabrera. And that one's well stroked into left center field, base hit. Castellanos having a really good season, 10th in the league and hitting at .309. Really weird to watch the Detroit team and no Mickey.
Saw him working out last couple of days, taking some ground balls, batting practice. LeBlanc, it's interesting to watch him. We talk about velocity in this game all the time. Everybody seems to throw 95, and for Wade this year, his average fastball at 86. At times you'll see him 88, 89. But opponents hitting just 205 against his fastball, and he has a cut fastball also that they're hitting just 125 against. So location has been a big part of what he's been able to do this year for the Mariners.
Foul off. How about if you're a regular who played yesterday and now you're in there today? You had Paxton 98, 99, 100 gone a complete game, and now you got Wade. We say, hey, I'm totally different. I say, yeah, you are. Well, what's it like as a hitter facing a guy like this the day after seeing Pax?
I don't think it's a big deal as far as timing the fastball. I think the difference is with Pax, you mentioned it, 95 to 99 miles an hour with the hard slider and the curveball. With Wade, the guys that are in the lineup, especially the regulars that were in last night's game and coming to the ballpark today, they have his changeup in the back of their mind, and I think that's the reason why his cut fastball has been such a good pitch for him. That one he did not get into the corner. That's in the middle of the plate.
And that is long gone. John Hicks off the out-of-town scoreboard. Home run number 5. Picks up 2 RBIs, gives him 17, and John Hicks now is 9 for 21, 2 home runs and 6 RBIs against the Mariners this season. Goodness gracious.
Well, it's one of the things you always have to be careful of. Players playing against their former organization. But again, this is just a mistake. They wanted that pitch on the inside corner, maybe even in off the plate. Ended up middle.
Ain't got his money's worth on that one. A 2-0 lead. 2 outs, nobody on. Here's Nico Goodrum playing at second base today. Third base in last night's game. Went 1 for 3. John Hicks on a 1-1 pitch hit at 426 feet. 110 exit velo. For LeBlanc, the 4th home run he's given up this season as a Mariner. Wade with the Mariners in 2016. Later on in that season, traded to Pittsburgh, went 1-0 in 8 games. Last year with Pittsburgh, 5-2 with a 4.50 ERA. Now here he is back with the Mariners. 1-2 to Goodrum. Straight up in the infield, straight up in the outfield for Goodrum. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Got him. Damage done by John Hicks once again. 2-run homer. 2-0 lead for the Tigers. The Mariners coming to bat. Early hole for the Mariners, down 2-0. They'll face veteran Francisco Liriano. Let's take a look at the Mariner batting order.
D. Gordon is going to lead things off, and then it's Gene Segura. Good night for Gene. Last night a home run, had a triple, drove in 3 runs in last night's ball game. Different looking lineup. Ryan Healy will move up and hit cleanup. No Nelson Cruz today. Kyle Seager will be the DH and hit 5th.
D. Gordon 1 for 5, 2 RBIs last night. Just outside the top 10 in batting with that .306 batting average. A career 2 for 5 against Liriano. Liriano, 34 years old, out of San Cristobal in the Dominican Republic. 6'3", 218, 34 years old. First year with Detroit. He's been around Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Toronto, Houston, and the White Sox.
Fastball, slider, changeup for him. His average fastball this year 92 miles an hour. And his slider has been his best pitch. Opponents hitting just 161 against his slider.
You can see with that funky delivery, and like he dropped down just a little bit. You can see why he's posted an .098 batting average against lefties.
It looked as if he had a little bit of cut to the fastball at 91. I'm not sure that was something he planned on doing. McCann wasn't able to handle it as it went to the backstop.
3-1 to count. Liriano, last 3 outings, no decisions. 4 starts ago, he won at Baltimore. with 6 1/3, 6 hits, 3 runs.
He struggled in his last outing against Cleveland, and Dee Gordon will pick up a walk. Against Cleveland, 4 1/3, 7 hits, 5 earned runs. He threw 91 pitches. On the year, his ERA just over 4, 44 2/3. He has 32 strikeouts, 23 walks. He can get wild, and we just saw the walk to Dee Gordon. Opponents hitting just .218 against him.
4 times in his career for Liriano's. Look at Jones in center field. He can fly.
And he's been in left field, but Martini again the DH, so he'll get the start in center. Pete Kozma is at third base. James McCann will do the catching.
Liriano, 4 times a double-figure winner in the big leagues here. Here's Segura. Looks at a strike. Gene's had his struggles against Liriano. 5 for 25. Gene having a great year. 7th in batting at .316 and 4th in batting average with runners in scoring position at .389. Stolen bases, he's right up there, right behind Dee Gordon. Dee with 15 leads the American League, and Segura's got 11. And Dee with 59 hits. Only Mookie Betts and Manny Machado have more hits at 60. Gene at 59. Bunt. Cano unavailable. It's nice to see these two guys continuing what they started talking about, Gordon and Segura. No Nelly Cruz today. Got hit on the elbow yesterday, coming off the bad foot where he'd been hit a couple of days before that. Give him a day off today. It's got service plus tomorrow's day off. Certainly miss Nelly's presence in the lineup, even though he's not raking at the usual rate we expect him to see, particularly the power numbers. He hadn't homered since early in May.
You know that will change, though.
Wait for that hot weather.
Yeah, and for him to get healthy.
That's a big one. Gordon, good lead. See if Gene can come up big here. 2-strike count. Just joining us, 2-run homer, first inning. John Hicks, top half of the first.
D able to read that move right away.
He has inched out almost every time he's taken the lead. He's got his right leg just outside the cut. Slow roller down to third. They'll get 1. They will not get 2. It's Kozma. Goes to Goodrum for the force on Gordon.
Batting third, right fielder, number 17, Mitch Haniger.
The 1 out, 1 on here, and the Mariners home first brings up Mitch Haniger. When I got home last night, I saw that catch he made down right field line was phenomenal. Thank goodness he didn't get hurt. Yeah, and did the backflip. Yeah.
The only thing that saved him is when you see it, if you get a chance to see it again, is his right hand. He's able to grab the padding up top, which helped him because he was going backwards over. It looked like he was going to hit his head on the concrete, but he was able to slow his momentum down just enough, I think, to where he wasn't hurt on that play. Great concentration to make the catch.
Tremendous. Good break by Segura. Throw down to second is in time. They get him.
And Scott's going to hold things up right now. Take a quick look at it.
McCann down to Goodrum. Second base umpires Rob Drake.
We'll take a look at our Primera Supermo and the slide.
2 outs now. Gene caught for just the 2nd time this season. 2 outs, 1-0 Haniger. You weren't with us last night. Take a look at this effort, and there it is. You could call with
his right hand.
Yeah, that was a saver. There's a strike.
I think it just slowed him down just enough.
Yeah. Wow.
So he kind of turned sideways.
Yeah. 2-2 the count.
Some tough pitches to Haniger, all of them down and away.
You ever do one of those?
Yes.
You hit your head?
In Fenway, I did not, but I ended up with the seats. He was in the walkway right there. I ended up with the seats, and the armrest ended up in my ribs, which didn't feel. Oof. Yeah, I felt that one for a while. But
you hadn't taken a shot like that since football, right?
Exactly. But it's one of those things at the time. You kind of try to time your jump, and you hope that everything will go fine. You know, for Mitch last night, again, the concentration. The reason why he jumped, I don't think he really needed to jump. He jumped because of the fans. He was worried about somebody reaching in there. Sure. Another walk for the Mariners.
That was his home crowd. If that'd been on the road, he might have.
And if you watch it, they did the right thing. They actually gave him room to make the catch.
It's like they read the back of the ticket. If your guy has a chance to catch it, get out of the way.
It's well done by the fans.
2-out base runner for the Mariners here in the first down, 2-0. Here's Ryan Healy making his first appearance as a cleanup man for the Mariners. His walk-up song should have been Moving On Up.
That's been the case. First came back from the DL. He was hitting 9th in the lineup.
And raking.
I don't think he'll see that spot again.
No. 1 for 4 last night's game, and a career 1 for 4 against Liriano.
15 pitches, 7 strikes.
One. Mariners starting today 26-19, 2 games behind Houston. Detroit second place in the Central as this one driven deep to center field. But staying in the yard, Jacoby Jones settles under it. And that'll do it. Mariners leave a runner. We go to the second inning, a 2-0 Detroit lead. Pop Collectible Night. It's presented by Funko on Saturday, June 2nd. First 20,000 fans, they're going to receive this unique collectible of the baseball crushing DH, with 23 lucky fans taking home the special edition version of the Boomstick in all silver. For tickets, go to mariners.com. Should be a fun one. Second inning, Tiger catcher James McCann as we come to you above the A and Safeco field. Leading off against Wade LeBlanc. Be McCann, Matuk, and Iglesias 6, 7, and 8 in the order for the Tigers, managed by Ron Gardenhire. there is a place for a pitcher. If you're not blowing 95, and Wade LeBlanc proving that every time out.
Left-handed, good changeup, throws strikes.
Works fairly quick.
17 pitches, 13 strikes for him. 6 batters, 5 first pitch strikes, so working ahead. Did make a mistake with a cutter in the first inning. John Hicks, a 2-run home run. His 5th.
How many times have you seen a guy come back against his old club like Hicks has a wear him out?
That was the Lou Piniella used to say it all the time. Anytime he had guys on the team, especially guys that were on the bench, they were playing against their former organization, he'd put them in the lineup.
He could be hitting 150, but he figured he'd take a shot, right?
That usually worked out for him. Why? I don't know.
Well, you got moved a couple of times.
Yeah, it's not that you try any harder or you concentrate more, but I can tell you this: when you have a good day, you feel pretty good about it.
I'm buying.
Yeah.
3-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. Back-to-back Ks here for LeBlanc.
And every now and then he will elevate his fastball above the belt.
One out, nobody on. Second inning, Mikey Machuk, left fielder. Mariners infield of Beckham, Segura, Gordon, and Healy, with Romine, Heredia, and Haniger in the outfield, and David Freitas behind home plate.
A rare curveball, strike one, 73 miles an hour.
Have a good crowd on hand. Little League Day, a lot of kids in the ballpark here. Get close to 36,000 last night. And I'll tell you what, it's definitely going to be 30,000 plus again for moms and dads. Mike Molinsky, home plate umpire. Like the way he works. Inside. Lets you know what's going on, you know? Don't keep it a secret.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't delay it. Help us out up here.
Well, that's the worst one, is the delay. Even when you're hitting.
Right? Yeah, you want a clue, right?
Yeah.
3-1.
I think the main reason why, as a hitter, you want to know right away what the call is, because you're processing.
Right. That's where he's going to be all day.
It all starts with the count, yeah, and whether it was a strike or a ball, and what you need to do.
And hard. Left field corner. Extra bases for Machuk, as Romine will dig it out. Third double of the season. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. What was the thing? We've talked about this over the years. You'd say to a guy, that's where we're going to be for that.
Yeah, is that it? Like for example, a pitch that I would think is off the plate away, but it was called a strike.
Right.
I wanted to know, is that as far as it's going to be? And I would ask in a nice way, letting them know I disagree with that. Let's tighten that one up a little bit.
Your mom would be proud.
Yes.
So
now after the third or fourth time, it's probably not as nice.
Right. But you know, we're not playing Tom Glavine, you know, starring in this motion picture role here, are we? You know, we're getting 4 or 5 inches off the plate, right? With all due respect to the Hall of Famer.
Those days are gone. You know, I think with the way that the umpires are today, and they're certainly aware of the tracer and what's happening.
Pick-off attempt, pretty close. Jose Iglesias, the hitter.
It's a good timing play. D. Gordon. This is now his third start out at second base. That's a good timing play. Those are things that you work on in spring training, and obviously he was in center field for the spring. Quick tag.
D wearing the stirrups, old school style. Brings back great memories.
Do they even make sanitary socks anymore?
Boy, if they do, I haven't seen them. I'll have to ask boys down in the clubhouse, Ryan and the boys.
Good changeup.
1-1. They must, because when they're doing autographs, you see them throw them into throw baseballs in the sanitaries when they're giving them out.
That's right.
One away, runner at second. Iglesias, career 2 for 3 against LeBlanc. Beckett will hold the runner. Cross, 2 down.
I mentioned it at the start of the game. Beckham at third base today. Kyle Seager, the DH. Basically a half day off for Kyle.
2 outs, runner at second. To the 9-hole we go. Third baseman Pete Cosma face Wade LeBlanc.
Spring training, we saw Beckham play some third, play some shortstop.
And he swung the bat well.
He had a really good spring. I'm sure it was a difficult decision for Scott Service, Jerry DiPoto, for him not to make the club out of camp.
And they catch a break. What, he passed through waivers, able to re-sign him, put him down in Tacoma, and then
now here he is.
Cosma hitting at .214, a homer, 6 runs batted in. Cosma, veteran, been around. He's in his 7th year. Started out with the Cardinals, played 5 years with them. At .222, and he's bounced from the Cardinals to the Yankees to Texas. Now first year with Detroit. 1-2. Mariners will have a day off, then go 3 games in Oakland, then come home. Long homestand. Yippee, right? 10 games.
A nice month for him.
There's Segura charging. Cosma can run a little bit. Gene throws him out. The devil doesn't hurt. Montauk stranded at second. When we come back, Kyle Seager leads off for the Mariners. Your local steel dealer, visit steeldealers.com. By Safeco Insurance, find a local agent at safeco.com. Do more. And by Virginia Mason Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, making bodies happy again. There's Kyle Seager to lead it off against Francisco Liriano. 2 for 5 career with a home run. Mr. Seager hitting at .233. 8 homers and 28 runs batted in. Liriano, 6-3 career against the Mariners, a .336 ERA in 14 games, 11 starts. And here in Seattle, in 7 games, 5 of them starts, a 2-1 record, a 2.56. The 1-1. All in 2 strikes to Kyle. He'll be followed by Guillermo Heredia and Gordon Beckham. So 5, 6, and 7 here in the order, 2nd inning.
Liriano has been tough on left-handers this year. Lefties hitting .098 against him, and in large part it's because of the slider. The last 2 pitches to Kyle, the slider off the plate.
Well, he's a big man and he's short arming out there.
Well, and it used to be 94, 95. His velocity is down a little bit this year at 92 miles an hour. But again, he's throwing the slider. He's throwing it a lot more than he used to. Not throwing his fastball as much.
Into the shift, Goodrum out in short right field. Throws out, Seager one away.
So even though some of the guys in the lineup have seen him before, have an idea, he's changed things up this year. Take them one time through the lineup. He tried to help him out in the 1st inning with a couple of walks, but was able to get out of the inning. Guillermo Heredia, what a job he has done, getting an opportunity to play every day.
Back-to-back days, Scott Service really singing his praises. Loves his 2-strike approach and bunt attempt for a base hit. And Cosma just gets him. Heck of a catch by Hicks. Boy, that was arm, shoulder, and wrist injury right there ready to happen.
Well, for Heredia, we've seen him try this. He picked up a base hit the other day, but he's trying to bunt for hits more often.
He's putting in the work.
Probably an impact from D. Gordon.
Yeah.
Take advantage of your speed.
Absolutely. He got that a beautiful sacrifice bunt in yesterday's game in the 2nd inning. Here's Gordon Beckham. Gordon with his time with the White Sox. And when Liriano was in earlier in the American League of Minnesota, saw a lot of each other. And Beckham just 1 for 18 against Liriano.
2 for 9 with the Mariners. One of the 2 base hits, a double.
Really good swing to bat for Gordon. Ground ball to Iglesias, the shortstop, steps into the throw. And a 1-2-3 inning for the Mariners in the 2nd, trailing 2-0 on a John Hicks 2-run homer in the 1st. Ride free to and from the Mariners game on Link Light Rail. Show your ticket to the game for a round-trip ride on the Link, courtesy of the Mariners. The improved stadium station is just 15 minutes from UW Station and 33 from Eagle Lake. Visit mariners.com/go for info. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, Root Sports Crew here. Top three. Leonis Martin, two-time Mariner leading off. Leadoff man, he popped out to Segura to open up the ball game on an 0-2 pitch. Martin just activated from the DL. Hamstring problem. Slow breaking ball at 73 from LeBlanc. Two of the trends that jump out of it. We talked about all the time the high fastball guys throwing that, and now dropping into the low 70s with the break
curveball.
Yep.
Well, LeBlanc, he typically will use the curveball more against the left-handers. There's another one just missing. Primarily, it's a fastball cutter to the righties with his changeup.
But we've seen that there have been other guys in addition to LeBlanc, other guys who drop that.
Well, even look at Pax. Pax, his fastball 95 to 99 miles an hour, and his curveball was right around 80, 81.
3-1 to Martin. Top of the order. He'll be followed by Jones and Castellanos.
Felix throwing his curveball more this year.
The 3-1 pitch. Lost it. First walk. Mariners off tomorrow in Oakland on Tuesday. Time now for a Century Link. What's next? See Mike Leake. His 10th start goes against Trevor Cahill. He's in his second tour of duty with the Athletics. And opponent's not getting much off of Cahill. And 4-3 record for Mr. Leake.
And offensively, the Mariners better be ready for a pretty good sinking fastball from Cahill. Try to keep the ball on the ground, pitching down in the zone.
He was a problem the first time around with the Athletics. Yep. Jacoby Jones, he popped up to Segura.
A rare walk from Wade. Just his 5th walk on the year.
Shows bunt. There's a strike. Watching from home last week, Jacoby Jones' speed really jumped off the screen.
He flies in the infield. They're going to be in double play depth, but they've really shortened up even a little bit more because of his speed.
Late swing. Advantage LeBlanc at 0-2. For LeBlanc, his 10th year in the major leagues. He's got a record of 30-35. He's ahead here 0-2. Martin at first. And got him. Third strikeout for LeBlanc. One out here in the third.
.78 miles an hour down out of the strike zone. Ahead 0-2, gets in the chase it.
Jones had 2 terrible swings. We'll go back and look at the video on that one. That happens.
Sometimes you'd rather not.
True that.
Don't need to see that one again.
It's already back. He didn't see it. Castellanos base hit to left and scored in front of Hicks. 2-run homer.
All the players in today's game will go back and look at their at-bats, and whether it's something that they're trying to figure out with the pitcher, or it could be their swing mechanically, what they're doing wrong, that things aren't going particularly well.
Sometimes all of the above, right?
Sometimes all of the above, but I also think it's a good idea. Nice pick by Healy over at first. To also, they all have somewhere along the way where they have a highlight film. It's good to go back and reinforce some positive things and watch those videos and those tapes.
Excellent call.
Yeah.
You do come out and you think, oh, I got this.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I've done this before, even though you're probably over your last 12 or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need your dad or your wife calling up going, yo.
Probably not a good idea.
What up?
Yeah, no.
They want to be like that golfer last week. Beckham going for the backhand, knocked it down, can't find it.
Castellanos has hit the ball hard a couple of times.
He has. Martin claiming he was interfered with by D. Gordon. Rob Drake is going to listen, but I don't think he's going to make any kind of decision.
I think they're having more fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he actually missed second base anyway. He stepped right over the top of it.
Oh, that's like the old hockey thing. Second guy in gets the abuse, right?
He was trying it anyway.
Two men aboard. Another hit for Castellanos, his second. John Hicks, two-run homer off the out-of-town scoreboard. Right above the Mariners' pen out deep left center field. Ball one.
The Hicks home run in the first. We had to pitch around a double in the second. Now runners in scoring position again here in the third. Things to remember is the bullpen is in great shape. Paxton complete game yesterday. They have tomorrow off. So Scott, he can empty the bullpen if he wants to.
He would like his six, but yep, that is definitely in place. Look at James Paxton, 2 complete games. In this day and age, that's a big deal because so many guys getting lifted after once they get into the third time through the order. Just like there's only what, you might see a dozen guys that are elite guys.
Threw 117 pitches. How many times do you see that in today's game?
Correct.
I like that Scott let him go back out there in the ninth. Pax has said it many times when he's finished with his starts that he still feels good. We've seen his velocity go up as the game goes on. He never seems to get tired. And I don't think it's something that Scott will do all the time, but there are situations where I think he's going to let him go into that 115, 120 range, and why not?
He said he earned it.
Yeah.
He said he could smell the finish line. I had to give him a chance to get there. So he kept the pitch count in check. As you mentioned, he got the off day. He talked about that. And the other thing, too, he said, you know, with all the hubbub from the no-hitter, swing and a miss, 2-2. A lot of his time was taken up, and he said that Scott and Mel, they like to look at his starts in 3-start increments. So he said after the no-no, and he said a couple of starts, so now he's had a chance to refill the tank.
James was talking about that after the game.
Yeah, chance
the
to
same
refill
type
the
of
tank.
thing. Because it really wasn't a pitch count for him. The no-hitter, I think he only threw 99 pitches.
Right.
So, but it was just all the other things that came along with it, and trying to get him back on his regular schedule again, which he is at now, and so it was time. And James had talked a little bit about that after the game last night, and really appreciated that Scott gave him the opportunity to go back out tonight because he wanted to go back out there.
Talked to him a couple of days ago. He talked to everybody in North America practically. So, wow.
The other thing about last night is he had some run support too. It wasn't as if he was trying to hang on to a 1-run lead.
Boy, does that make a difference?
It makes a big difference.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Strike 3 called. That's a big strikeout. 4th of the day for Wade LeBlanc. 2 downs. Take a look at the rise of the Big Maple. He is now known nationwide, both in USA and Canada. One of 2 pitchers with 2 complete games. First Mariner pitcher with 2 complete games in the season since 15. 5 straight quality starts and 7th quality start in 10 starts this season. I'm feeling all-star game in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, he's been on quite a roll lately. Off to a little bit of a tough start for him, but since then has really pitched well. And talked about it with James too. Once he locks things in mechanically, he can go on a pretty good run. We saw that last year from him. He made things just stay healthy. Another slow curveball at 73 miles an hour.
Talked about it yesterday too. Boy, his faith and trust in that fastball now, and his approach, I think, up top is way different from when we first saw him. Obviously, he's maturing a grown man now. Is D. Gordon. Throw out Goodrum. Couple runners stranded. Here we go to the home third. David Freitas, Andrew Romine, D. Gordon, 8-9-1. Tigers lead 2-0. Day crowd here at Safeco Field. Tigers lead at 2-0. Time now for T-Mobile Hats Off for Heroes. Justin Verlander, how about this? He started the Warriors Foundation. As you know, he's got one of the top records currently in Major League Baseball. Great credentials, MVP, Cy Young back in that 2011 season, a 6-time All-Star, and pitching really well right now for the defending world champion Houston Astros. He played a big part of that in the last month and into the postseason last year. Here's David Freitas to lead it off. And he looks at strike one. Talking about Verlander, he's right now 5-2 with a 105 ERA and 10 starts.
105. That's a great start for him.
Freitas in his 18th game, hitting .220, no homers, and a run batted in.
David hitting 8th in the lineup. Romine is hitting 9th. Back to the top of the lineup with Gordon here in the third. Mariners looking for their first hit. They've had a couple of base runners, a couple of walks in the first inning, and that has been it.
David Freitas, Major League debut with Atlanta last year, 6 games, he had .235, 4 for 17. Still looking for his first big league homer. 2-2. Straight up in the infield. Center fielder Jones, couple steps towards the right. Castellanos in good shape, makes the play. 1 out. Consider your night teed up on Saturday, May 26th, when the Mariners host the Twins at 7:10. First 10,000 fans are going to get a free T-shirt featuring Speedy leadoff man D. Gordon. It's all brought to you by Alaska Airlines. Reserve your seats at mariners.com. Brings up Andrew Romine. Getting a start in left field. Romine playing against the team he was with last year. Late September game, playing all 9 positions. 7th start this season for Romine. Two and one.
Count evens.
2-2. The only base runners the Mariners have had a walk to Gordon. Segura reaching a fielder's choice. He was caught stealing. And Haniger walked. Fly ball left field. Backing up Mata. 2 away.
First time through the lineup for Liriano. It's tough to look in zones with him. He's, I guess I would call it effectively wild. 36 pitches, 19 strikes, 17 balls, 9 batters faced, 5 first pitch strikes. He's mixing in his slider, his fastball, both sides of the plate.
And he hadn't given up a hit. I'd call that a quibble, Mike.
Yeah, well, here comes the second time through the lineup. So,
there we go.
See what kind of adjustments the guys make. He ended up walking to start things off in the first.
Third baseman Cosmo almost even with the bag. Same as first with Hicks. Outfield shortened up against D with Jacoby Jones shading towards left center. Very effective pitch.
Missed it lower left of the screen. We showed it. Jose Batista was released by the Braves
this morning
after just 12 games.
Yeah, I know he had 1 home run.
He had 2 home runs.
2 home runs. Okay, I saw the first one.
I think he was hitting under 200, but he had a couple of home runs. But only 12 games for him. But the Braves just released him.
And Alex Anthopoulos had him in Toronto. Quiet inning here for the Mariners. 1, 2, 3. I'll talk to you next Friday. Aaron Goldsmith will take over. Michael,
yeah, we'll
enjoy
see
your
you on
trip.
the weekend.
Absolutely. 2-0 Detroit.
Back up on the mound today for the Mariners, making start number 4. And so far, Mike, 4 strikeouts over 3 innings for LeBlanc.
He's been in a little bit of trouble. The Tigers are over 4 runners in scoring position. He made the one mistake on a cut fastball to Hicks that he tried to throw it the upper part of the strike zone inside, but ended up in the middle of the plate. Outside of that, is basically doing the same thing that we've seen him do, and that is command the strike zone. Mixing the speeds, using his curveball a little bit more today. We've seen his curveball 72, 73 miles an hour.
Facing James McCann here, strikeout victim back in the second. And maybe getting something in his eye. Think about it some more. Beckham's reach into left field. Romine having to dig it out. McCann a stumble that will cost him a bag. He's stuck at first. You know, Mike, I guess more than anything, I'm just happy to be here given.
Welcome back from Toronto, by the way.
Thank you. It's good to be back home, and I'm just happy I still have a job after Friday. I mean, figured you guys handle things so smoothly on the Players Cast that this is just, I'm in bonus time right now.
Well, I appreciate that. We were all wondering the same thing, Aaron, but it's nice to have you back.
It's very good to be here. Mariners trying to win this series today, but
yeah.
Players Cast looked like it was a lot of fun for you guys.
It was a lot of fun. There was a lot of things that went into it. Obviously the first time out, but we had a good time with it.
I was very disappointed that there were no home runs for you to call, Mike, or immaculate innings, or hitting for the cycle, or I was really hoping for something completely out of
all of that, I was hoping for the immaculate inning.
Oh my gosh, I would have been so burned on that. First pitch, strike two, Montook. Now, would you have given me a shout out in your immaculate inning call?
Oh yeah.
Well, that would have saved it a little bit. McCann aboard with a single. Montook a double his last time up. Oh, 2.
I'd be curious your thoughts, Aaron. I know that you didn't get to see much of it yesterday, if any at all, maybe some highlights, but James Paxton in 2 complete games now in the run that he has been on. Just your thoughts on James.
Well, first of all, for any pitcher to have 2 complete games in the same season anymore is remarkable. That is something we hardly ever see. And I had a chance to talk with Jim Price today, analyst on radio for the Tigers, as this is fouled off. And of course, a longtime big league catcher for the Tigers, and I was interested in his thoughts on Paxton. And the first thing he brought up, the angle on his breaking ball, and I said, well, which one, right? Slider or the curveball? And he said both. And what's been so amazing to me is how the curveball was really the only story about Paxton's curve his first 4 or 5 starts is that it was non-existent, and now it's become seemingly a fairly dominant pitch for James.
It's been fun to watch, and I think the main thing that I think about when you look at starting really with, although he was good even the start before the 16 strikeouts, was in that outing he didn't have his curveball there. He basically was fastball slider, and then his no-hitter was fastball curveball.
Strike 3 call.
And hearing him after the game last night, he was talking about how he didn't have his slider, didn't have a feel for it, so he and Mike just went fastball curveball. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when he has everything working, and how he can really dominate a lineup. I was just talking to Dave about it too. I like the fact that Scott let him throw 117 pitches last night because I think he's capable, which is rare in this game today.
There's no doubt. 1 out, 1 on. In steps Iglesias, the shortstop, batting 8th. And just barely missing for ball 1. Shoved into the corner right field. Haniger looking after it, but this is a foul ball. More than anything for Paxton, like selfishly, and I think everyone would agree with this, including James, I just hope that at some point this year, in all of his remaining starts, he has the fastball again that we saw against the A's. I mean, I don't know if it's impossible to ask for him to have that fastball again.
No, it'll happen.
I mean, you think it would, wouldn't you?
It will happen. And if you missed it in that outing, his velocity was similar to what we've seen, but he just had some extra life on his fastball. And I thought it was interesting hearing James afterwards.
Off the knuckles fair to Beckham.
Saying he recognized that right away. That I don't think you want to get into spin rate quite yet, Aaron, but
save that for the next inning. We're still early.
It was one of the things that James was talking about, that he could see it on the mound when the ball was coming out of his hand, just the extra life that it had in that outing. And I think that's one of those things where you'll probably have for him, we'd like to see him get his 32 starts in this year, stay healthy. But he'll probably have that type of fastball, if I had to guess, somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 times this year.
Really, that many?
I think so.
I was going to think maybe half that much, but I'm happy to hear you say that.
Yeah, I think that he will.
2 outs. Iglesias at first, avoids a double play. Here is Cosmo, the third baseman. And kind of the excitement of that type of fastball too is obviously before the game starts you don't know if that's going to be the night, but we do know this. You know it pretty much right away. We knew it immediately in that first inning against Oakland.
And it was a lot of fun to watch too. And I think the main thing for me, Aaron, was for him to just stand out on the mound. And the A's knew exactly what he was going to do, and it did not matter. He was going to throw his fastball. It was going to be 97 to 100 miles an hour, and it was going to be at the top of the strike zone. And you couldn't do anything about it.
No chance. Just about 25 swings and misses on that pitch that night.
People were asking me about it, and the only thing that I could compare it to was seeing Randy in that mode from time to time. Another left-hander that could throw 100 miles an hour and just cut it loose, and everybody again knowing that that's what he was going to do, and you could not do anything.
Iglesias taken off, slugged into left field, but Romine gets to it easily to end the inning. A man is left. We move on to the bottom of the fourth. Time now for AT&T achieving more as Gene Segura digs in. Mike, we've been talking about his numbers with runners in scoring position all season long, so maybe it's no surprise that he is leading the majors with hits with runners in scoring position.
He is really having some sort of season. When you think about where he sits RBIs, 32 of them, hitting second in the lineup. Hit lead off a couple of times when D hasn't been in the lineup, but 32 RBIs for him. He only has 3 home runs, his third coming in yesterday's game. But hitting with runners in scoring position, he's been right around 400 all year. And now, coming into today's game, he's third in the American League in stolen bases, on top of everything else that he's been able to do. So, offensively, he's been terrific for the Mariners, a big part of what they're trying to do here.
Two nothing on Segura. One of the names we saw on that list, Mike, with runners in scoring position, Odubel Herrera of the Phillies. We don't see Herrera at all this year, of course. What a catch, a stab by Cosmo over at third base. The utility man looking like an everyday third baseman. Looking like Seager at third.
Some bad luck for Gene. Line drive that he's able to snare.
Now Herrera, Mike,
has he reached base in 50 games in a row yet?
40. Last night was 45 straight games on base. But now think about this for a second. We don't have a clear report as to whether or not this counts. Today, Mike, he struck out but reached base on a wild pitch. Does a strikeout wild pitch count towards an on base streak?
I would think so. He reached base.
Does reaching on an error count as reaching base on a strike?
So. About a fielder's choice.
See, to me, that would be no.
That would be no, but I'm not sure.
Because I know you can, when you look these things up, Mike, which I know you do on a morning by morning basis. I mean, you can search by reaching base without reaching by error, with reaching by error, to expand it a little bit. So we'll find out. But even if it ends at 45, my goodness, that is incredible. 2 outs for Ryan Healy.
It is incredible. But I'd be curious to know. I saw that the other day. They were highlighting him when I was watching some of the highlights, and they were saying that he was at 43, I believe it was the number at the time, and I hadn't even realized that. It's been pretty quiet.
Philly's playing some surprisingly good baseball this year. Strike one to Healy.
They're still looking for their first hit. I'll pick up a base hit here. He flew out to center field his first time.
And behind 0-2.
Liriano has been consistent with in this ball game today is to the right-handed hitters. There's 3 left-handed hitters in the lineup. So with the right-handers, just throwing his fastball down and away, and then using his slider. One of the few times he's going to try to pitch inside, in off the plate, probably goes back down and away again. His primary off-speed pitch is his slider.
High target for the 1-2. Chop foul. Now for Liriano, his worst 2 starts are his last 2 starts. Got off to such a terrific beginning this year with the Tigers, but his previous 2 times out, 8 earned over 8 1/3. More walks than strikeouts. Well, that kind of piece of McCann. Down by the ankle.
Right on the ankle. And Dave Valley says it all the time. You have all that padding, and if there's a spot that you don't have covered, that's where you're going to get hit.
I do love hearing Val talk about, especially his final days catching, his final season or 2, and how he basically looked like a medieval jouster behind the plate, trying to cover every possible square inch.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Not at all. A wave and a tap back to McCann's glove. That is 10 in a row sat down by Francisco Liriano. way to travel. Visit AmtrakCascades.com. And by CHI Franciscan Health, the Mariners' official partner in health. Get your guide to living Northwest healthy at nwhealthy.org/Mariners. Martin showing bunt right in front of the plate. Freitas with a strike to first base in time. Martin, a speedy out number 1.
Well, David, he gets out from behind home plate in pretty good shape. It's going to be a barehanded play for him. And he has to throw a pretty good fastball to first. Martin was flying down the line. Gets him by a half a step.
Just glad Martin didn't harpoon him with the bat when he let go of it. Got that out of Freitas' way. 1 out for another speedster, Jacoby Jones. Well, the sun has started to come out here at Seaco Field. Lots of cloud cover at first pitch. Ground ball up the middle. Gordon slides, stops, throws to first, not in time. Jones too quick. Infield base hit. He knows a thing or two about those.
Infield hit. Something that we've talked about the last few days with D. Gordon. A Gold Glover at second base and a pretty good backhanded play. Unfortunately, it's one of the fastest guys in the American League. Running down the line, not able to get him in Jones, but fine play.
Yeah, I just like that D's wearing the old school Blower Power flip down sunglasses.
I like it too.
Here's Castellanos. Missing outside. Castellanos putting together a really strong first half. It's kind of funny how think back to when Castellanos was first called up years ago by the Tigers, playing at third base, of course, now in right field. It's jammed, a little flare. D tracks it down. 2 outs. Now be sure to come to the ballpark on Friday, June the 1st. This is a promo right in Mike's department. It is pajama bottom night when the Mariners take on the Rays. Mike, they are comfy, they are cozy, and they are free, best of all, for 10,000 fans. Get your tickets today at Mariners.com.
Looking forward to having him. Thank you, Aaron.
June the 1st. There is Hicks. Hicks a 2-run smash back in the first inning. The only runs of this ball game so far.
Speaking of the flip down sunglasses, do you have a preference? First of all, are you an eye black guy?
Oh, like I'm definitely an eye black guy. Not the stickers. Give me the real deal.
Yep.
Give me the tar. Obviously, I would make the Oakleys look better than the flip downs, but are you talking about just simply eye black versus flip downs?
No. Eye black with the flip downs.
Oh, double
eye black
up.
with the Oakleys.
Oh, I would double up all the time.
Yeah, I figured that. But which glasses would you prefer?
Well, I remember as a young man, Mike, wanting nothing more than the flip downs, but unfortunately they were enormous on my head and they were not built for children, so I never had the ability as a little leaguer.
Hard to find, weren't they, in sporting goods stores and stuff?
You know, this was still in the era of the bright green Ricky Mizuno batting gloves.
Awesome.
Which were the coolest.
Yeah.
And it would take months of allowance to buy just one of those batting gloves.
You had them though.
I could save. It was worth it. But even those, I remember the Ricky batting gloves. It was always disappointing as Healy wants to take a look at this possibly. This was pointing that way. They never made them for kids. If Scott,
he's holding things up.
Take it that means they will not challenge. But I always wanted the flip down sunglasses, but never fit me as a little leaguer. And as you know, Mike, that is where my career basically ended. So much for that. There goes Jones. Throw way off line into right center. Jones on his way to third base easily.
Stolen base, 82. Well, there was nothing that D could do to keep it on the infield.
So 2 outs and a runner at third base. It does bother me though when I see guys with these sunglasses on the hat and then they lose the ball in the sun.
I pegged you for that.
For which part?
The sunglasses on the hat and losing the ball in the sun. Or maybe just dismissing it completely and blaming it on the sun.
Rolled over foul. And you might have noticed the local cottonwood trees providing a little bit of ambiance throughout the ballpark today.
It's not snowing.
It is not snowing. It is not volcanic ash either.
Tigers so far 0 for 4 runners in scoring position.
2 outs man at third. That's Jones. Already a fight in the sun a little bit. Got the shades on, puts it away for out number 3, and Jones is stranded 90 feet from home. Big league history. Take you back to this day in 1994, Mike, when Junior hits his 150th career homer. Now, this is notable because Junior, the third fastest to reach the 150 homer mark. Mel Ott, Eddie Matthews, the other two to get there faster. It's in a pretty good game, too. 19-2 win for the Mariners over the Rangers. Junior 3 for 4 that day. A couple of doubles and the home run. Good strike to Kyle. Mike, off day tomorrow.
Yes.
Seager not a full off day today, but how much of a boost is this for a guy who is out there every single day at third base?
I think it's a nice break for him.
We're chasing after that off-speed pitch.
As you mentioned, out in the field every day, in the lineup every single day, and it's one of those things where if you get a chance to where you're just swinging the bat, at least you're off your feet for a while. And then you mentioned the day off tomorrow, so that'll certainly help them. And it's something that managers think about and try to time right when they look at the schedule and the days that you have off, as far as the guys that are regularly in the lineup, and you have to be concerned about them. So he buys them a couple of days. Talking about it earlier with Liriano, and left-handers hitting .098 against him. Again, that slider. He throws it about as hard as he possibly can. It's a late break to it. It's not a big sweeping slider. Probably a little bit more break to it than a cut fastball. And it's causing problems for left-handed hitters.
Well, Lucy only throws it about 40% of the time.
Well, his fastball velocity is down, so he's not throwing it as much, and he's really just leaned on that slider, even to the right-handers. We just saw one to Heredia.
And on the hands, gets him. Same story, 2 outs. 12 in a row sat down. Be sure to stick around after the game for Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines. Mariners wrapping up the homestand today. Off to Oakland for a quick 3-game series and 3-game road trip. Then the Mariners are right back home. Missing to back him for ball 1. In fact, for as much as the Mariners have been away for the first month and a half of the season, it will get paid back to the club after this 3-game series in Oakland. Twins coming to town, the Rangers, the Rays as well to take us into June. So lengthy homestand coming up after that 3-game trip to the Bay Area. Hope to see you here at Safeco Field. Beckham in the driver's seat, 3-1. Speaking of that next homestand, Paul Molitor and the Twins coming to town for a weekend series. We'll see Jeff Bannister and the Rangers for a 4-game set. Then we will be in June. I have to think by that time, Mike, the Mariners' weather luck will change. It seems like every time we leave, you look at the extended forecast, it is 75 and sunny. Mariners come back and it's more like 65 and cloudy. It'll be changing.
I think you're right about that.
Soft fly ball into right field. Castellanos is over to make the catch. That is 12 in a row. Sat down now by Liriano. We've completed 5. Going to the game, it's quick and easy on the Sounder Train, Link Light Rail, and ST Express buses. Plan your trip at soundtransit.org. Right across the street. LeBlanc on to work the 6th. 5 strikeouts over 5 innings. Only runs allowed. We're way back in the first. That 2-run home run by John Hicks. There's Nico Goodrum to lead it off.
72 pitches, 51 strikes. His last outing, he threw 90 pitches. Ryan Cook getting loose in the pen.
On the first pitch, sliced out to right field. Easy play for Haniger. 1 down. Get home field advantage on Silver Bullet Saturdays. Download the Coors Light Rewards app and start earning points towards rewards like Mariners tickets and Coors Light gear while supplies last. Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Oh, what a day to be out of the pen. And there is Cook getting loose. One pitch, 1 out. Here is James McCann. We're just talking about that road trip coming up to Oakland. Some tough news today for Bob Melvin and the Athletics. Chris Davis leaving that game today in Toronto with a groin strain. They have the day off tomorrow like the Mariners do. So it'll be interesting to see if Davis is limited somehow in that series, if he doesn't play at all in those 3 games, maybe not till the end. Those typically do not sound like quick fixes.
If he doesn't play at all, that will be a huge break for the Mariners. It seems that every series he's involved with the Mariners, that he's going to hit a home run at some point.
The A's are playing some sneaky good ball. They just capped off a 7-3 East Coast road swing.
About the AL West. Everybody over 500 now.
I mean, would every team be in first place in the Central right now? Kind of feels that way. The updated standings. Mariners just 2 back of the Astros. Rays have gotten to the Angels recently. Halo's in 3rd place. McCann into right field on 1 hop to Haniger, a 1-out single. McCann, a couple of base hits now. And when you talk about that Rays Angels series, the story of Sergio Romo is top of the list. We'll be talking about that throughout the course of this game today. Scott is making a call to the pen. 1 out and 1 on here in the 6th inning. LeBlanc 5 1/3. We'll step aside. We've got a pitching change. Wade LeBlanc, who was able to work into the 6th inning. Mike, he has been pitching tremendously in the rotation. Today, still only 2 runs responsible for the runner at first base, but we saw the strikeouts again, of course, the changeup as well, but the only blemish, that home run in the 1st inning.
Yeah, you're right. It was a cut fastball to Hicks in the 1st. 2-run home run. Outside of that, I thought he did a really good job, especially pitching out of trouble. Runners in scoring position. Tigers 0 for 5. A good changeup again. We probably saw his curveball a little bit more, but another good outing for Wade. 5 1/3, 7 hits, a couple of runs. They were earned. Just the 1 walk through 78 pitches, 55 strikes.
Our Beacon Plumbing called the pin for the 2nd time. Ryan Cook up on the mound for the Mariners.
He was impressive in his debut, an inning in the 3rd. Had the 1 strikeout. His fastball was 96, 97 miles an hour. Has a hard slider to go with it.
All 1 to Mikey Montook. Now for LeBlanc, we have become accustomed to seeing him work a little bit deeper since joining the rotation. When a full 6 innings his last time out. But if there was ever a day, Mike, where you could afford to pull the trigger on the bullpen a little bit sooner, it would be today, with an off day tomorrow coming. And of course, what James Paxton did last night, bullpen very rested.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot was predetermined before the game even started today, just trying to get some guys some work out in the pen. Again, Paxton, complete game yesterday, day off tomorrow.
Moves him back. I mean, we say go to the bullpen early, but in reality, if Wade LeBlanc can get you into the 6th every time when he is starting in the place of Erasmo Ramirez, he'll take it.
Yeah, I think though you have the power arms that are out there right now, and at 78 pitches in his last outing he threw 90 pitches, so he was capable of probably finishing this inning, and that was going to be it. But then you get the base runner and a lot of right-handed hitters in the lineup. Bullpen that is well rested.
Swing and a miss. Montook down on strikes. And an awkward looking swing at that. 2 outs.
After his fastball at 95 miles an hour, he comes back off speed pitch at 85, gets him to swing right over the top of it.
We talked about Cook game 1 of the series when he made his Mariners debut. First time for him up on a major league mound since 2015. And how meaningful that night was to him. A wide variety of injuries, most notably Tommy John. And put up really fine numbers with Tacoma to begin the season. Oh, 2 on Iglesias. That pitch off. Iglesias 0 for 2. Got a .250 hitter on the season. Another 0-2. Fouls it away at the plate. McCann, who reached on the single, back to first. Here comes. Line left field, and a fair ball by less than a foot all the way to the corner. McCann getting waved in. Throw from Romine is cut by Beckham. A strike home. Tag. Got him. Did that ever speed up? The ex-Tiger getting it started in left field.
It's going to be on the slider. It's down in the zone. It just drops the barrel on it. Gets down into the corner. There by about a foot, and then you'll see the tag by Freitas at the plate.
Tigers on top 2-0, and we take a look at why with our Columbia Bank difference of the game. Mike, first inning, a former Mariner back in town.
Trying to go with the cut fastball to get it in on his hands. Unfortunately ends up in the middle of the plate, hits it well over 400 feet. For Hicks, his 5th home run on the year, and that has been the difference in the game so far. They're still looking for their first hit.
To left, Montook finds it in the sunshine for out number 1.
And with the way this game is going, what an important play and relay to end the last inning. With the runner at the plate. Romine, he overthrew Segura, but fortunately Beckham, who's getting his first start at third base this year, was there to back the play up and make a strong throw to home.
Romine, a soft tapper. Kozma on the grass. 2 pitches, 2 outs. Well, we really haven't, even dating back to last year when Beckham was up just a handful of times, handful of games with the Mariners. I can't remember really having a chance to see his arm really that much, Mike, but he threw a seed home.
He did, and it was something that, to your point, I was kind of curious about it in the spring, but we had a chance to watch him play some shortstop and some third base. And certainly capable of handling either one of those positions, even though he's been a career second baseman. That's something, though, sometimes when you don't play a position or haven't played it much, it's plays like that, cutoffs, relays. Where are you supposed to be? That you kind of forget sometimes, because when he's at second base, everything's just second nature because he's been doing it for years and years and years. But all of a sudden you move across the diamond and you have to really think about those things.
Oh, and 2. Well, D trying to make Liriano just throw a couple more pitches in this inning. He is in cruise control today. This will turn out to be a 5-pitch inning for Liriano. We are off to the 7th.
ballpark, you got your kids with you, make sure you take a trip to the kids corner. Lots of fun stuff to do. It's located on the view level behind home plate. There's a wide variety of activities like batting tees, pitching targets, and a chance to steal a base and more. Plus, great photo opportunities for the entire family. And while you're at the kids corner, you can register your children for the Mariners Kids Club. Oh yeah, living the dream out there, big fella. Love the glasses. Let's head it back upstairs to Aaron and Mike.
No doubt about that. Thank you, Tom. Take a look at James Pazos, new pitcher up on the mound for the Mariners.
16 appearances, a 1.65 ERA, and 16 1/3. 17 strikeouts, just 1 walk on the year. Opponent's hitting .203. His fastball 95 to 97 miles an hour. Hard slider. Really pitched well for the Mariners this year. 17 strikeouts and just 1 walk.
Now Pazos to face 9-1-2 of the Tigers order. It begins with third baseman Pete Kozma. Ball 1. And Mike, to me, you look at Pazos, and he is the classic guy that we talk about when we mention all the time about how this game has changed because of bullpens, because Pazos is not a guy who will pitch in the 9th for the Mariners. Will typically not pitch in the 8th either. Pitching here in the 7th. We can see him in the 6th inning sometimes. So he's not the very, very back end of a bullpen, and yet he is someone who we have seen touch 98 miles an hour.
And that last fastball 95. And he's not a left-handed specialist either. When he comes into the game, it's typically to start an inning, and he's going to finish it. Whether it's right-handed, left-handed, doesn't seem to matter.
Already a fight in the sun, and wins. 1 down. On Tuesday, May 29th, it is Park of the Park night once again at Safeco Field. Just $50. You and man's best friend will receive tickets to the game, a Mariners dog food bowl, and a chance to walk around the bases post-game. Visit mariners.com/park. Might we be seeing Jack again?
Jack will be here.
Really?
Sure.
We can book it?
Yeah, he had such a good time the last time.
Well, the booking fee was so high, I didn't know if we had it in the budget still.
Maybe some more TV time for him. We'll see.
Ball 1 to Leonis Martin. May we never forget the best Leonis Martin memory, and I don't think this is debatable, Mike. I'm sure he had walk-off home runs, had some great catches, but the sombrero in spring training on his birthday and the mariachi band following him all around Peoria, including into the cage and out in center field when he's shagging fly balls.
I was wondering where you were going with all that, but you know what? The band was terrific. Yes. It was a lot of fun.
The 2-0. Martina had 3-0. And we laugh at it because it was hysterical, but
it was.
On a serious side, and Martin talked about it that day. Obviously, he was asked a couple of questions about it, and he was so moved by it that he was beloved enough by his team that they would do something like that, right, obviously for their own entertainment, but they obviously cared a great deal for him and still do.
I thought that the great part about it all, and it's kind of what I think about when you mentioned it, is think about Martin walking from one field to another, so let's call it left field, and he has a band behind him playing
with guitars the size of a small boat.
Yeah.
Pazos able to get the count full. One out. Pazos trying to put him away here on a full count.
Dan Altavilla getting loose in the pen.
Late swing at 97. Oh, and he actually took BP with the sombrero on.
Yes, he did.
which might have been a major league first. Another 3-2. Another foul ball.
Another good fastball at the top of the strike zone at 97 miles an hour. Good battle. Only 7 pitches in this at bat. I would work with your headset, Aaron, but maybe we get a sombrero for you sometime.
Ooh, that'd be tough. Well, I can't ruin the brand, Mike. You understand that?
Yes, I do.
I wouldn't want to do that.
No.
If you had it, you'd understand more. Now, back in the day when you did have it, your party was in the back, so still be noticeable even with the sombrero on. This time in play. Romine, the left fielder, comes in. 2 outs.
9 pitches. Pazos wins the battle.
Update tomorrow for the Mariners. It'll be a travel day to Oakland on Tuesday. Mike Leake taking on Trevor Cahill. Our coverage begins at 6:30. Leake trying to get things going once again. We saw that terrific start for him in Toronto. A couple of starts to go on the last road trip. He's on a roll as well, as we were talking about. Coming off a 7-3 East Coast road trip. Put the finishing touches on that today in Rogers Center. Strike one to Jones. Only runs of this game coming back in the first inning. The John Hicks 2-run homer off LeBlanc. Hicks has enjoyed facing his former team this year. The 0-2. In fact, those numbers this year for Hicks against the Mariners are more reminiscent of the man that he is replacing at first base, Miguel Cabrera. Not for Miggy's hamstring injury, Hicks would not be seeing nearly the playing time. Freezes him. Oh boy. That was right there, top shelf. This time handcuffs him. Jones down swinging, and Pazos goes for the order. 1-2-3 in the top of the 7th. They'll stay right here inside Safeco Field for God Bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" here on this Sunday, we ask you to please rise, direct your attention to the area behind home plate, To present God Bless America, please welcome from Marysville, Washington, Heath Taylor.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Stretch your imagination with Washington's lottery. Play today. A good look down Pioneer Square. 2-0 Tigers. Well, the Mariners trying to figure out Francisco Liriano, who has not allowed a hit through 6 innings and has sat down the last 15 in a row.
What the hell's going on?
And now it looks like Iglesias is wanting some sunglasses.
There we go. Way to break up his rhythm on a no-hitter.
First pitch strike to Segura. It was a 5-pitch 6th inning for Liriano. Liriano, who back in May of 2011 as a member of the Twins no-hit the White Sox.
He's been his fastball 91 to 93 miles an hour, and that slider that we were talking about.
His walks came back in the first. Into center. Jacoby Jones back onto the track. Extends, makes the catch. 1 down.
Battling the sun a little bit. But really, when you think about the game so far, they really haven't hit the ball hard too many times. That was a couple times now for Segura. He also lined out at the third baseman.
Another first pitch strike, this time to Haniger. Now, Verlander has the previous 2 no-hitters in Tigers history. This is socked out to the gap, left center field. No-hitter gone. Haniger aboard. 1-out single in the 7th.
And for Mitch, he gets a pitch right in the middle of the plate. Barrels it up in the center field.
Well, now all of a sudden the Mariners have the tying run with a lot of pop at the plate. But also snapped 16 in a row, sat down by Liriano. The opposite way. Castellanos in front of the track. 2 outs. Another no-hitter for Liriano back in 2011, by the way. 2 strikeouts, 6 walks. And after that start, now this was in early May, so only going off of a month before that, but his ERA was lowered to 6.61. So safe to say that that no-hitter maybe surprised some people. Two outs, Haniger at first, Seager at the plate. Rolled over to first base. Hicks right on top of the bag to end the inning. Haniger is stranded. The Mariners have their first hit. We have played 7. Tigers on top. CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. By BNSF, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. By Jack in the Box, this season a Mariners double play means free jumbo jacks from Jack in the Box. And by Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. Turned out to be a gorgeous day here in Seattle inside Safeco Field. We move on to the top of the 8th inning. And Dan Altavilla on to work for the Mariners.
17 appearances for Dan, a 3.45 ERA. 18 strikeouts, 15 2/3. Opponents hitting 170 against him. His fastball will be mid to upper 90s. Hard slider.
Worked an inning scoreless the other day against these Tigers. Facing Nicholas Castellanos. 0-1.
Starts him with a good slider at 86.
Well, Mike, I know you of all people are a fan of this game's great third baseman, including one who wore number 5 for Kansas City. And Castellanos was a third baseman for much of his time in the minor leagues and in the major leagues until recently.
Yep.
He played in the Futures game, which is, for those who aren't aware of it, really a great tradition that started, oh goodness, maybe back in '99 or so. Basically, it's the all-star game for the minor leagues, especially for higher-end guys in the minors, AA, AAA players. He was a part of it when the game was played in Kansas City at Kauffman Stadium years back. And the manager for his squad for the Futures game was George Brett. And I cannot imagine what it must have been like for a young player, especially one who plays at third base, to be, I know we kind of use air quotes on managed, right? This is not the most competitive game, but it's nonetheless, you have one of the all-time greats in your dugout, and he's the boss. Castellanos down swinging. I think that would be a little.
I'll guarantee you a picture and an autograph happen.
There's no doubt. They'll just line up. It's been a pretty cool experience, though.
Had to be.
One out for John Hicks, who has driven in the only 2 runs of this game. I do love it when we hear about big leaguers, not just guys in the upper minors, but legit big leaguers who become starstruck some of their early years in the majors when they see guys that they grew up watching. 1-1.
I don't think it's much of a surprise. They are also fans, or have been their entire lives.
Altavilla behind. The appeal, he does not go. Out of the plate. Altavilla's payoff. I know, Mike, I cannot imagine which face I would have rather seen when you were a Husky playing an exhibition game inside the Kingdome. Yep. Your face, the joy, the excitement. Here you are in a big league ballpark, the ballpark you grew up watching, or Stormin Gorman's face when he was saying, we seriously got to show up and play this game.
A little bit of a difference. As far as the overall excitement about the game, I would say is fair.
You're getting there 8 hours early.
Yep.
And Gorman's showing up. What time's first pitch? I'll see you for stretch.
Right. No, it was probably a little bit different between the two of us.
Routine ground ball out to Segura. 2 outs. MLB At Bat is your #1 Mariners app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get the Mariners home screen icons and features such as MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today. The real question, did he have the mustache going that day? Was that an all-the-time thing?
That was an all-the-time.
I think so. I mean, even early in the year. I mean, he showed up to spring with that, right?
Well, if he shaved it on Tuesday, it was back Wednesday.
Good point. First pitch strike to Nico Goodrum.
Probably know this, Aaron, but I know you met Bob Costas, which was a big thrill for you. Did you ever meet Stan Musial?
I never did.
Really?
No. Peter at 98 fouled that.
An aggressive swing at the top of the strike zone. Getting loose in the pen for the Tigers.
Liriano pitch count is only at 80 as Deke comes out forward. What might this be about, Mike?
I can't imagine, outside of seeing Goodrum between the two series, that he knows a lot about him. But
now some barking back and forth between Mike Malinsky, the home plate umpire, and the Tigers dugout. Quick skimmer out to Segura. Fastball to first base, and the side is retired in order by Dan Altavilla. We go to the bottom of the 8th.
A rookie pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals by the name of Jordan Hicks. He had a 5-pitch sequence today of, get this, 104, 105, 104, 105, 103. He had 13 pitches in an inning and a third of at least 100 miles per hour until Hicks today, Aroldis Chapman, had the fastest pitch in the bigs this year at 103.3. That 5-pitch sequence, they all topped that. Jordan Hicks in a win today, by the way. St. Louis beat Philadelphia. Guys, that is really amazing.
Well, that's a joke is what that is.
No thank you. is what that is.
That is incredible.
105.
Ball and a strike to Guillermo, leading things off in the bottom of the 8th. Jimenez getting loose, as Mike was talking about. Mike, it does always amaze me. Think about how baseball is different from the other mainstream sports. The players in the history of this game who have thrown 100 miles an hour, I mean, the body types of all of them can be so far ranging. And Hicks, who Tom was just talking about, took in left field there for round number 1. I mean, 6'2", 185 pounds. Walking down the street, might not scream, I can throw 105 miles an hour. We saw Lincecum, of course, throw heat. Lincecum, one of the slightest built guys you'll ever see on the mound in the major leagues. Diaz, same story there. The whip he gets is purely God-given.
Yeah. And then we saw James, and what's James, 6'5", 6'6",
Right.
230, throwing 100. You can certainly see that and kind of expect that more, right?
Sure. On a strike to Beckham. Beckham not too pleased with that last call, missing by just a touch.
And it was off the plate. Nicasio getting loose in the pen for the Mariners.
One out, a walk. Mariners again will bring the tying run to the plate. Make your voice heard. Nominate your favorite plays of the week by tweeting us using the hashtag #RootFanFave. Watch the Mariners pregame show every Sunday to find out your fan favorite plays of the week. Plus, each month, one lucky fan will win a Coors Light Yeti cooler just for participating. For official rules, visit rootsports.com. Now, Mike Zunino will make a cameo here and will bat for David Freitas. See if he can park one out, tie this game up.
That's why he's hitting. Got service. Hoping that maybe Mike can at least hit one into the gap. Ron Gardenhire on his way out to the mound. See if he's going to make a pitching change. 89 pitches so far for Liriano.
Now credit to LeBlanc, Cook, Pazos off the middle for keeping this one close. Keeping the Mariners in it after that first inning 2-run homer by Hicks and the Tigers. He's staying with them.
I thought it was interesting when he was walking up the mound. Liriano was trying to hand him the ball, and then Gardenhire started to have the conversation, and he was going to leave him in.
Zunino the tying run, pinch hitting for Freitas. Looks at strike 1. Beckham running at first after the walk. Mike, on a day like this for Zunino, when you know the game is close, you're getting into the later innings, you started doing some work back in the cage before right now.
He was ready to hit. I'm sure that they talked to him probably in the last half inning, give him an idea if somebody were on base, they were going to let him swing. Didn't take him any time at all to get out of the dugout. Catches a break there.
That's a big swing. 2-1 instead of 1-2. Evens it up. The 2-2 off the plate, full count. Now the 3-2.
Stay with the breaking ball. Why not? It's been a great pitch for him so far. Liriano has not thrown 100 pitches this year. Second start of the year against Cleveland, he threw 97. He is now at 95.
Only 4 times has a Tiger starter this year thrown 100 pitches. Another 3-2. Strike 3 called right on the fringe. A strike nonetheless. 2 outs.
It's clear that Mike did not like the call. Backdoor breaking ball. Mike can't believe it.
See what Andrew Romine can do against his former team. Ball 1. Inside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. Liriano taking a no-hitter into the 7th. A 1-out single by Haniger that inning. But he has spun a gem to this point. Well, the Mariners threatening. Throw down to first. Beckham scampers back in standing.
On the Mariners bench, you have Gamble and Cruz. I don't think Nelson Cruz is available. He was hit on his elbow in last night's ball game. That was after being hit on the foot and missed a couple of days. I don't think he's available today.
Yeah, tomorrow coming to the right time for Nelly. Pitch number 100 from Liriano. Makes it 2-2. Back again, still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Beckham, one of only 4 base runners today for the Mariners. Handcuffed him. That is the inning. Liriano, 8 scoreless, 1 hit along the way.
Hashtag Where I Root, presented by Alaska Airlines. Here's what the fans are sending in. Thank you, Rachel Girk. Another Mother's Day, a second chance. She loves her mom. We all love our moms, right? Thanks, Rachel, for sending that our direction. Little League Day at the ballpark as well. You'll see a lot of those Little Leaguers hanging out around Safeco Field on Sundays. And Adam sending this in. Camden's birthday trip to the ball game, looking for another win. Hopefully another come-from-behind win, and maybe even another foul ball. Happy birthday, Camden. We send it back upstairs.
Thank you, Tom. On the Casio on to work in the 9th inning, Mike.
22 appearances, 21 strikeouts, 2 walks in 20 2/3. Average against him at 318. Fastball 91 to 96 miles an hour with a slider.
He's working for the second time in this series. An inning scoreless the other night for Nicasio against the Tigers. Facing James McCann, the catcher, who singled twice in this game.
Tigers closer getting loose. Shane Green.
Mike Zunino in the game after pinch hitting. I feel like over the last week, Mike, we have not seen any opposing reliever more than Shane Green.
It seems that way, right? I understand.
Been playing the Tigers a lot recently. This is the final game of the season between these two teams. There is Green warming up. Two balls and 2 strikes to McCann. Off the plate. The 3-2. Now the Angels, who have been scuffling lately, leading the Rays right now at home in the 7th. I already mentioned the A's winning today. Oakland taking down the Blue Jays north of the border. Lopsided 9-2 win. Swings right through a good fastball at 95. There's out number 1. Tune in every Sunday for a new episode of Mariners All Access. Get exclusive player interviews, behind the scenes footage, and Mariners stories you simply can't find anywhere else. If you missed today's episode, tune in for re-airs throughout the week on Root Sports. For your local programming schedule, visit rootsports.com. Mariners trying to keep pace with the Astros. They are on Sunday Night Baseball tonight at home against the Indians. That's McCullers versus Carlos Carrasco. Good pitching matchup there.
And Juan with a good fastball today, 95. On the strikeout, it was 95 miles an hour right on the outside corner, so well located fastball.
Oh, 2. High and wide, a ball and 2 strikes to Matuk. The line of the 1-2. Took the former Ray, former first-round draft pick out of LSU. Zunino over by the railing, beyond his reach. McCann put up a bit of a fight to Nicasio to begin this inning. Nicasio eventually struck him out. Took seeing his fair share of pitches here as well. Another 2-2. Punched in the ground over to D. Gordon. Good hop for him. 2 outs. Two up, 2 down for the shortstop, Jose Iglesias. Bunts. Zunino with the bare hand to first base. Pops Healy's glove in time to end the inning. And here we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Mariners down 2, down to their final 3 outs.
Mike Zunino, tremendous athlete, has to come out from behind home plate, avoid Nicasio, makes the play, gets rid of it quickly. It's a little flip over to first, but had something on it. Iglesias getting down the line.
Now, Nicasio almost looked like he was calling for that a little bit, was he?
I think he was, but Mike calls it. You have to get out of his way, and I think Mike probably called him off of it late, and Juan did it the best that he could to try to stop in his tracks. But a very good play. Francisco Liriano, tremendous day for him. 8 innings, just the 1 hit. He did have 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, 102 pitches, 60 of those for strikes.
And he spun a gem, and he hands the ball over to the Tigers closer, Shane Green.
21 appearances, 10 saves, 3.5 ERA, 25 strikeouts, 8 walks, and 20 in a third. Opponents hitting .235 against Shane. Fastball, slider, cutter. Average fastball this year, 95 miles an hour.
Facing the top of the order, Deshaun Bunt looking at his strength. 1-1. He's trying to get aboard any way he can to bring the tying run to the plate. A flare, dropping left center. Jones plenty of speed to track it down for out number 1.
Looked like it was a cutter, probably in on his hands a little bit.
One out for Segura. In play, Iglesias. Scoop, the spin. Off of Hicks's glove. Segura into second. Mariners in business.
Won't be a base hit. He's 6. Tremendous effort by Iglesias. I thought this was in the center field for sure. Get much on the throw. Hicks not able to help him out again. Hicks, his normal position is catcher. The ball ended up in the stand, so Segura will move on to second base.
Now, first time today the Mariners have had a runner in scoring position. 1 out into the 9th inning. It was Haniger who broke up the no-hitter in the 7th. He's a tying run. First pitch out to left by the pole. It is hooking, and this is a foul ball. Foul ball for strike 1. Up the end of the bat there, Mike?
Yeah, he took a chance right here. Being aggressive early in the count, you can see catches it right on the end of the bat. And typically when that happens, it is going to hook a little bit more than usual. And yeah, clearly a foul ball. Yeah, 1 for 4 against Green. That one hit, a home run.
Time call. One out, 1 on. Bottom of the 9th inning. Haniger the tying run. Oh, 2.
Good sinker. That was a 2-seamer.
To Haniger. This is lofted out to left field. Haniger has tied this game. Oh my goodness.
Three pitches, 3 really aggressive swings from Mitch Haniger. The foul ball, he swung through the 2-seamer, and then this last pitch, he's going to get it right in the middle of the plate. Shane Green makes a mistake. It looked like it was a slider. He barrels it up. No doubt that this was leaving the ballpark. He catches every bit of it. Jay knows right away. Yeah. Great reaction.
Brand new ball game. Here's Healy. Winning run at the plate.
6 exit velocity, 415 feet into the upper deck. And with that home run, Edwin Diaz getting loose in the pad.
Haley ahead 2-0. Ground ball, Iglesias. 2 outs. In steps Kyle Seager.
Kyle the DH today.
Ball 1.
Early in the count with 2 outs. I'll look for something that's middle to middle in. Probably try to hit his 9th home run of the year.
Ball and a strike.
This fastball 95, middle away.
The 1-1. Now 2 strikes against him. Now the Mariners shut out over the first 8 innings. In fact, shut out on just 1 hit. 2 hits and a 2-run homer here in the 9th. Green now ready. Inside. It's working.
It is working.
Now on 2-2. Amazing how quickly this game can change, and we said it earlier, worth repeating. Credit to all the relievers we have seen today. Cook, Pazos, Altavilla, Nicasio, and LeBlanc, who gave up just that 2-run homer in the first. It's been 8 scoreless since then for the Tigers.
And it's something that the Mariners have done this year. They've been able to swing the bats late in ball games, and you saw the average for Mitch Haniger in the 7th inning or later, 340 average. Kyle just misses this skying it to center field.
Well, it's a beautiful day. Why not play more? We go to the 10th thanks to that man, Mitch Haniger. Upper deck. Got every bit of this. We are tied through 9. thanks to Mitch Haniger and his 11th home run of the season. Had gone 18 games without a homer. Goes deep in the 9th to send us to the 10th and bring on Edwin Diaz.
For Edwin Diaz, his fastball will be in the upper 90s and a hard slider. 22 appearances for him. ERA at 2. 39 strikeouts and 22 1/3. Just dominant stuff. Opponents hitting just 108 against him this year.
He will face a pinch hitter, Victor Martinez. Batting in Cosmo's spot, the number 9 spot of the order. D. Gordon is playing a shallow right field. Strike 1.
He might as well. Victor does not run well. Still a pretty good switch hitter, though. Have to be careful with him.
0-2.
Something that Edwin has really done well this year with his slider. Throwing it down out of the strike zone and getting hitters to swing over the top of it, have him chase it.
Full shift on now. Check swing. Segura swung over.
12 blown saves for the Tigers this year. 3 of them now by Green.
What a high number.
Well, you look at their struggles, and that's a big reason why. Good fastball at 98 right at the top of the strike zone. Joe Jimenez getting loose in the pen.
He's got nasty stuff. We've seen that.
He was up getting ready for the 8th inning. Mariano ended up pitching the 8th.
The 0-2. On the sliders to Martinez. Into the shift and through the shift. Able to turn on a 98-mile-an-hour heater. And Martinez is aboard. And his job for the day is done. There'll be a pinch runner.
Solid base hit. That was the slider. Machado will pinch run for him. Will also turn the lineup over. Martin stepping in.
You know, Mike, a good conversation to have right now as we see Diaz pitching at home and a tied game in the 10th inning. We saw this happen not all that long ago when the A's were in town, when the Mariners were able to tie it up late in the ball game, and there are a lot of questions being asked as to if that was the right move. So I think surprised a number of people who heard that question. And basically, I know you had a chance to talk to Jerry and Scott about it. I had a conversation with Jerry about it as well. But simply put, if your closer, on paper the best reliever the Mariners have after all, is available in this situation, you will run him out there and trust that in the bottom half of the 10th inning, any guy in the order's got a chance to pop one out or win the ball game somehow.
Well, that's what anybody that, and a few people did ask me about it, and my reply to it was simple, which was another question to them. Who's my best pitcher in the bullpen? Why would I not want him in the game? It's that simple.
Yeah. Don't need to overthink that one.
No.
One and 2.
And in fact, when I spoke to Jerry about it, you know how they go through everything and running numbers and all the different things that go on, and I asked him if there was anything to that, either whether it was with Edwin or closers in general or any of that. No. The answer is no, and yes, he would pitch every time.
The 1-2. Now the reason why it became a topic of conversation is because Mark Canha hit one out on him.
It didn't work.
It did not work.
Right.
And the reactionary side of things would say immediately start questioning it. But even the seemingly invincible Edwin Diaz gives up a home run now and then. Spikes a slider. Machado staying put, running for Martinez at first.
Yes. The argument with it would also be is if Edwin blows a save, does that mean he's no longer my closer because it didn't work?
Time call. Still 2-2. Another foul ball.
It's the other thing too is you can look at, you know, how is his stuff on the days that he's pitching in a game like this one, and we've already seen 98 a number of times. It hasn't changed his velocity or his slider. His slider's been 89-90, which is what you're always going to see from him in a save situation.
Strike 3 call.
Martin didn't like it, but that's a slider right on the outside corner at the knees. Borderline pitch, but he's able to get the call. Pretty good battle though. 8 pitches to put him away.
That's a little sleight of hand by Mike.
He's pretty good at that.
1 out, 1 out for Jacoby Jones. Swinging and missing at the first slider. Oh, 2. Doubles up on it. Ground ball off the mound. Beckham option pass. Segura fastball first base in time double play. Mariners a chance to win this one at the bottom of the 10th, all tied at 2. Final game of the series, final game of the homestand. A day off tomorrow for the Mariners. A very brief 3-game road trip, if you can call it that, to the Coliseum to take on the A's. Then back home for a long while. Weekend series against the Twins, Rangers in town for 4, and then Tampa Bay wrapping up the weekend. Will take us into the month of June, if you can believe it. Joe Jimenez up on the mound, taking over for Green, who blew the save of the night.
He has pitched well this year. 24 appearances, ERA under 3 at a 2.91. 22 strikeouts and 21 2/3. Fastball, sliders, average fastball 95 miles an hour. Another hard throwing right-hander.
Nico Goodrum taking over for Cosmo, who was lifted for pinch hitter Martinez. Machado now at second base. Two balls and a strike. Now Jimenez has only given up 1 home run so far this year. That was earlier this season against the Orioles and Pedro Alvarez. Only got to take him deep. Three and 1. On the ground left side, cut off by Goodrum. Wow.
We're going to have a pinch hitter. Ben Gamble. Mariners have a short bench with all the relievers that they have now. So Mike Zunino, he came to the game for David Freitas. Now Gamble going to hit for Beckham. That leaves Nelson Cruz, the player left.
Missing ball 1, not missing by much.
Swinging that well lately. A couple of hits last night, including his first home run. Real good count for him.
The 2-0. Off of McCann.
Good aggressive swing at a fastball that was middle in.
Tell you how good Jimenez has been this year. Lefties hitting just 171 against him. Count levels out. It was Haniger with the 2-run homer in the 9th off of Tigers closer Shane Green to even the score and send this game to extras. Now the 2-2. Down on strikes.
Ben was able to get ahead 2-0, and then he just challenged him with the fastball 3 pitches in a row, including this last one at 96 miles an hour. It's going to be middle away at the knees. We're a Supermo, and the swing by Ben is a little bit late.
Zunino originally had today off, but was called on as a pinch hitter in the 8th. This is the second time up. Plays off ball 1. Now one big swing from Zunino wins this one for the Mariners. Drive left field, that'll work. Mariners have the winning run aboard. 2-out single, Mike Zunino.
Able to get to a fastball 96 miles an hour. Calling line drive into left field. Good run the third baseman playing even with the bag.
Ball 1 to Romine. Romine looking for his first hit today. Pops it up. Shallow right field. Dixon Machado, the new second baseman, sends this game to the 11th. Tied at 2. West standings. Astros play tonight, 1 win shy of number 30 on the season. The Mariners just 2 games outside of Houston. Angels right now 3.5 games back. The A's winners today. They're making some noise. Now 3 games over 500. They just swept the Blue Jays, 4 games back from the Rangers. At the bottom of the pack, 18 and 30 on the season. Very competitive in the American League West to begin the season, as Ben Gamble is in left field for the Mariners. Romine has swung over to play third base.
And Nick Vincent will take over on the mound. 21 appearances, 4.5 ERA, 19 strikeouts, over 5 walks. One sitting 276 against Nick. Fastball at 90, cutter, slider to go with it. We'll get the middle of the lineup for the Tigers.
Starts with Castellanos. Strike one. Castellanos not happy with that call. You can see why. Castellanos is normally a guy you think of with the ability of 20 home runs or more. This year we're seeing him hit for a higher average. He's hitting nearly 320 entering today. Buck Farmer getting loose to work the bottom of the 11th. Two and two. Popped up, foul ground. Zunino over by the railing, at the railing, off the bench.
Just out of the reach of Mike, leaning over the railing.
To right center. Already there in plenty of time. One down. Well, Hicks has had a knack for hitting against the Mariners this year. A home run back in the first. That is the only offense for the Tigers today. 2-run blast.
295, 5 home runs for him.
One and one. Right where Vincent likes to live, top of the zone. Ball and 2 strikes. Limos him back, evens it up. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes.
He's able to get away with a fastball right there. 92 miles an hour. Mike was set up on the inside corner, and that fastball ended up out over the plate.
Fouls off a pitch away. Looked like it would have been ball 3. Bonus baseball for everybody at Safeco Field today. Full count. lengthy stay at the plate for Hicks. Next pitch will be number 9.
Yeah, for Nick, he was able to get that last fastball right on the inside corner. Tied him up a little bit. He fouled it off.
To right field. Trouble. Gordon out. Haniger in. D can't make the catch. Not for lack of effort. He's slow to get up.
In this situation, the outfielders are going to be playing deep. D was aware of that. He covered a lot of ground to get to that point. Great effort. Right off the end of the bat.
Go ahead run at first base. That's Hicks for the Tigers. It brings up Nico Goodrum. He began the game at second, now at third base. Strike one. Bunt popped back over the screen. Vincent ahead 0-2.
Romine, who's playing third now, started the game in left field, but at third was really playing deep. That's the reason why he tried to bunt.
He still is. But 2 strikes against Goodrum now. Strike 3 called. 2 outs.
Looks like a cutter ends up on the plate at the knees. No much doubt about that.
McCann having a good offensive start to the season. A couple of hits today. 0-1. There goes Hicks. He's caught in between.
On the balk right away.
He will take second.
Hicks was trying to time Nick's delivery to the plate. Takes off early. Very set. Now you have to step off. And he doesn't do that. He just spins. And there you can see the balk was called right away.
The first balk in Nick Vincent's career. 0-2. Vincent a strike away from sending this to the bottom of the 11th. Go ahead run in scoring position. Down on strikes. Couple of strikeouts in the 11th for Vincent, who survives. We go to the bottom half. Top of the order coming up. Gordon, Segura, and then the man who sent us to extras, Mitch Haniger. all tied going to the bottom half. Day off tomorrow for the Mariners. Open up a 3-game road series inside the Coliseum. Mike Leake, Trevor Cahill. The A's rotation has been very battered and bruised. They have lost 2 men of the disabled list from the rotation in just the last 3 days. I think the last 4 days. So Cahill getting the start. Leake start number 9. And Buck Farmer up on the mound to work the bottom of the 11th.
22 appearances, a 4.35 ERA, 23 strikeouts, over 14 walks. He can get wild at times. Opponent's hitting .267. He's given up a couple of home runs. Fastball, slider, changeup. His average fastball 94 miles an hour. He will get the top of the lineup for the Mariners. D. Gordon going to lead things off.
Farmer facing the Mariners for the 6th time. Gordon, first pitch, right side into right field. Winning run is aboard. And just the guy you want at first base.
Being aggressive, typical for D. Gordon. Gets a fastball, hits it through the right side of the infield. That's right on the barrel. Leading the American League with 15 stolen bases. One of the things that Segura, who's stepping in, typically an aggressive hitter, but usually early in counts with D at first base, he will take a pitch, maybe even a strike, give him a chance to steal if he wants to. Pretty good lead.
Keep him in check. Well, for a right-handed reliever, Farmer has had his struggles against right-handed hitters. They are batting nearly 300 against him this year. Segura taking a strike.
Really, that's all you can ask from him. At this point, you have to let him hit. Good run the third baseman, even with the bag. Outfielders are playing deep.
The 0-1 off the plate low. Again to first.
Looks as if he had a little bit more on his lead that time, still getting back with no problem.
The winning run. Now the 1-1.
Pretty good swing at a fastball in the middle of the plate. 95 miles an hour.
There goes D. Oh, that got the knob. Didn't get anything. D is staying put at second.
I was with you, and that looks strange. I'm not sure what happened. Up and in for Farmer. His average fastball 94, 95 miles an hour. Segura's going to back away. I don't think it hit him. It hit his glove.
Just off McCann.
Yeah. McCann just trying to be too quick.
I'll tell you what, Mike. Aside from this play that gets D into second base, D just does not look right. We saw him kind of walking slowly back to the dugout a couple innings ago.
Yeah, I know he's had a foot issue that he was dealing with.
And then even after this slide, kind of slow to get up, bent over a couple
we saw the
of
same
times.
thing on the dive out in the outfield.
Right, yes. Winning run in scoring position.
Look at that.
Inside the bag, here comes D. The race is on, and it might not be very close.
What a big stolen base that was by D. Gordon, and the Mariners come back. It looked like they weren't going to be able to do anything offensively, but they come back and win the ball game.
Segura wins it. Gene the winning run. It's a final in 11. 3-2. Mariners take it. Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines begins right now. Bill Bradham, it's all yours, guys.
All right, Aaron, thank you very much. Yeah, celebrate D. Gordon, who may be a little banged up, so don't beat on him too bad, Bill. Take care of Segura. He's the guy who hit it. And Buck Farmer gives it up in the bottom of the 11th. Another improbable win for the Mariners. This is their third extra inning game of the year, Bill. They have won all 3 of them in the bottom of the 11th inning. 3 walk-offs.
Great win. Again, you got the right guy to the plate, Gene Segura, who's been super clutch all season long. He's the guy that's been hitting with runners in scoring position at an incredible clip, almost a 400 clip. And again, once he gets that chance in this ball game, he delivers. Got the right guy running. Battle of attrition. Mariners win that battle of attrition against bullpens, and any way you can get it done. Liriano was taking names for 8 innings, just coasting, but the Mariners hung tough, got into a bullpen battle. Haniger hits the big homer, and Segura delivers in the clutch.
I tell you, go back a couple of nights ago, Michael Fulmer doing the same thing, dealing through 6, somehow come back to win that game. They're down 4-0 that game, and now 1 hit through 8 with Liriano. They come back with the Haniger home run off of Green, his 3rd blown save. Tigers have blown 12 games this year. That is a huge number already.
Yeah, we're only a quarter away through the season, or a little bit more. That's an ugly number. And they're thin. I talked to Ron Gardenhire before the game, and they're a little short in the bullpen. They know it.
All right, so Heredia takes care of the Gatorade bath early. So Jen, steer clear of the Gatorade, which is nice because you have a light-colored blazer on, Jen.
We think we're clear. There is another container over there. Gene, you knew right away that was going to be the game-winning hit. How do you account for D. Gordon on the bases and just let him do what he needs to do in that situation?
I mean, in that situation, I just trying, to put him in play. When the catch, he can catch the ball. He advanced to the second base. I know it was a really good opportunity, to drive a hand to the home plate. And I mean, just, trying to put the ball in play, trying to move into the third base in less than 2 hours. It worked.
It certainly did. But how do you keep it simple in that at-bat, especially given the way that game played out?
I mean, you have to, know who you are and stay patient, to home play, because it's late in the game, and trying to come down, trying to see good pitch to hit, and he missed right on the play and put a good swing on it.
You mentioned staying patient with Liriano on the mound today. How do you do that when he was able to keep you guys off balance?
I mean, he was in his game. I think everybody saw it today. It was in his game. A lot of breaking balls on the dirt for strike, and I think it was in his game today. And we done did a really good job, but we keep him late, trying to score some run, and make sure he hits that big home run to the left field line and give us momentum to the game.
Yeah, and let's not forget the bullpen, who keeps this game close, puts the Mariners in position for their 12th come-from-behind victory of the season.
All right, Jen, thank you very much. 12th come from behind, the 12th blown loss for the Tigers, and really kind of a good way to win another series and a good way to finish up the quick homestand here.
Yeah, it's been a very tumultuous week, to say the least. So to go 4-2, it speaks highly of how this team has come together. Still Nelson Cruz not 100%. The whole middle of the lineup not there today, and yet this team finds a way to win. You get a good feeling from this team, Brad, that they've got a lot of elements that can bring victory to them. We know they're a pretty good offensive team, but even with this lineup not being at the peak today, they still were able to win.
Yeah, Cruz, the only player not used from the bench today for the Mariners, so they get it done, everybody contributing. And how about the Mitch Haniger at bat in the 9th inning? He had not homered in the month of May. You got to go back to April 29th for the last time he had hit a home run, but he gets it done. And in the 11th inning, with D. Gordon leading off. Find some way to get on, and you know good things will happen. Buck Farmer, fastball. Gordon able to get on, and then kind of the fun begins for at least the Mariners.
Yeah, you immediately get the division of attention, hitter and catcher. There, James McCann trying to be a little too quick on trying to get that ball before he actually received it. And of course, Gordon easily into second base. This sets the stage for a guy that just loves hitting with runners in scoring position. There he goes. He's a line-to-line hitter. He's got to be Edgar's favorite, don't you think?
Absolutely. Any kind of hit is going to score Gordon, even though, again, doesn't look 100%, but boy, nothing's going to stop him there. And D and Segura, and everybody piles on. And why not? Another big win. Again, 4-2 on the homestand. Another come from behind win. Now you enjoy the off day tomorrow. Start a 3-game quick road trip in Oakland. And they get it done again using everybody again. The Haniger blow was the big one in the bottom of the 9th inning, number 11. It's been a while for Mitch. What a time. Oh, and a no-doubter. What a pitch from Shane Green. He just about got it on the first pitch of that at-bat.
Yeah, a slider that he almost hit for a home run, and then found him with a sinker and got the slider back, and he hung it.
All right,
Haniger, upper deck. Love
yes,
it.
More reaction coming up. Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines.